Today, we're going to show you how the redundancy and resiliency capabilities built into the Polycom UC Intelligent Core benefit customers in the real world. As various elements of our video-enabled environment are taken offline, simulating outages, upgrades, or other business continuity challenges, you'll see firsthand what a user would experience and how Polycom solutions ensure reliability and availability across your organization. The systems we have installed include RMX conferencing, DMA bridge virtualization, CMA management and scheduling, VBP remote access and firewall traversal, HDX telepresence, CMA desktop video, and an SQL server database. Let's start with the typical video call within an enterprise. From my CMA desktop client, I'll dial a virtual meeting room. The call gets routed from the CMA to the DMA, which uses load balancing and other algorithms to send it to the optimal RMX on my network. Once in, I meet other colleagues who've dialed in, and we have a productive, high-quality meeting. Next, let's call into an enterprise as a remote user from outside the enterprise network. I'll again dial the virtual meeting room, except this time the call is routed to the CMA 5000 management application, which confirms my access rights and routes the call to the DMA. Using load balancing and other variables, the DMA instantaneously sends my call to the correct RMX. Now let's see how the UC Intelligent Core addresses a power failure, network outage, or natural disaster. In this case, we'll lose power to our entire remote access and firewall traversal system. Expectedly, the external participant's call gets disconnected and drops. But what happens if, like most users, they immediately redial? The new call goes through the secondary VBP and is delivered to the next available resource, and back into the call. Now, let's see what happens if we have another outage, this time within one of our bridge virtualization systems, the DMA, that manages routing and resource allocation for our RMX conference bridges. If the DMA goes offline, active calls are either redialed automatically to reconnect users, or users can simply redial the same number and be placed on the most appropriate MCU. Because the Polycom UC Intelligent Core leverages virtual meeting rooms and virtual IP addresses, calls are simply directed to the next available DMA. When the DMA went offline, the endpoints lost their signaling path and the call dropped. But then the redundant DMA took over, and those dropped calls went back to their home screen, so the users can simply dial right back in and stay connected. Now let's see from a user's perspective what happens if an RMX conference platform goes offline. If an RMX goes offline, with our auto failover capabilities, all you have to do to get back into your conference in progress is redial. No scrambling around, no emails asking what happened. Just redial around the outage and keep collaborating. Let's see this firsthand from the IT manager's perspective. The LED indicators on the front panel show that our conference is being hosted on RMX number 3. As I take RMX number 3 offline, all the endpoints are disconnected from the call and return to their home screens. As users redial, the LED indicators reveal that the call has come up not on RMX number 3, but RMX number 1. Even though our dialing information remained unchanged, the call was simply routed to the next available RMX. This redundancy comes from our DMA, the application that virtualizes all RMX resources on the network. Now let's see what happens when CMA management and scheduling goes offline. Here are two CMA servers running in a redundant configuration. Let's disconnect CMA number 1. Automatically, all services are passed over to the secondary server. Once all services restart, users again can simply redial to engage in a point-to-point or multi-point conference. So we just witnessed 4 catastrophic failures in real-world situations, and each time, to reconnect, All the user had to do was redial. Imagine your executives, vice presidents, or project teams conducting their telepresence meetings with barely any interruption as the UC Intelligent Core applies unmatched resiliency and redundancy to your operations. You no longer need to react on the fly, methodically analyze what went wrong, apply fixes, or just hope it works out okay. With the Polycom UC Intelligent Core, you have flexibility, redundancy, and resiliency built in. Even when network challenges arise behind the scenes, you can provide users with always-on, always-available experiences that reduce trouble tickets, increase productivity, and enable you to focus on core objectives. For more information on the UC Intelligent Core, visit polycom.com/core.